Hello guys, today I've got with me a 2016 Volvo S60 T5 Inscription. It's a front wheel drive. The vehicle now went to a shop to do an oil change, and they told him he had some kind of emissions leak. So he wanted me to look at it. When he brought the car to me, the check engine light was on. And then when I got around to looking at it, I found a message on the dash saying tighten gas cap. So I tightened the gas cap and the message went away, and then I cleared the codes. So I took a snapshot of the freeze frame and then I cleared the codes, and then I had him drive it for about a day or so. According to him, the light came on and off. He needed the car, so that was a good time for me to give the car back to him so he can drive it, just for me to see if the light came back. And according to him, it came on and it went off. It came on and went off about once or twice. And he said he actually bought gas and he tightened the gas cap well. Right now the light is off, but according to him, the light has been on. It's been on and off intermittently, and that gas cap message has been on and off intermittently as well. So today what I'm going to do is try to figure out what's going on with it. Obviously, he has some kind of EVAP leak, which is what is going on here. It could be as simple as a bad gas cap, but we have to kind of cover all our bases, check all the possibilities. The first thing I want to do is to scan and see if I can find anything, maybe a pending code. Let's do that first. We find a pending code, and then based on that, we might do a visual inspection, then we can go from there. So I've got a code here. It says EVAP system leak detected, gross leak, no flow, general fault, no subtype information. So P0455. Okay, so the leak is still present. I think it's just a pending code. It will show up at some point in the form of a check engine light. So I think what I'm going to do is to do a visual inspection, like I said, and then go from there. Before I do that, I'm going into the general OBD system just to see what I find there. Sometimes you can get some really good information over there, so I just want to see what I find over there. So I'm just scanning for that. Right, so like I said, it's a pending code. I want to show you this. I thought it was a pending code, so I wanted to verify by going there. So look at this. If you can see, it says P0455 pending EVAP leak detected, and P0455 permanent EVAP leak detected, large leak for both of them. Okay, now the way you go to the general OBD is not to go to the vehicle specific selection when you're using a scan tool. You want to go to EOBD, which is basically the general one, the generic OBD setup, and sometimes it lends some really useful information as well when you're doing some diagnostics. So let's go do a visual inspection. Just looking at the different components here. That's the canister. That doesn't feel loose. That neither. Still looks pretty solid. I'm not finding anything that looks out of place so far. So no, nothing. Everything looks just fine from the visual standpoint. So doing some more research on the vehicle, I found that the vehicle has a leak detection system which consists of a leak detection pump, the fuel tank, the canister, the lines, and then the purge valve. Okay, so the purge valve is usually closed, and then the system should be a seal system, and obviously the fuel cap is also part of the equation. So the way this works is it pressurizes the system and then watches for about 450 seconds to make sure it's looking for a certain pressure. So it pressurizes to that pressure, and then I think it's 1200 Pascal or something like that. And then that is the minimum in 450 seconds that the pressure should build up to. So anything less than that in 450 seconds is not acceptable. So that's how the this particular vehicle does its leak checks. And if it can't build that pressure in 450 seconds, it perceives that to be a leak of 1 millimeter diameter or more, which is a gross leak. So that's what we're dealing with here. So what I want to do next is to put smoke through the system and then see if I can find a leak anywhere. Okay, so if there's a leak of 1 millimeter diameter at least, it will show up somewhere when I smoke the system. And the way I'm going to do this is to start from the purge valve. I'm going to put some smoke through that and see if it shows up anywhere else underneath the vehicle, and then we can go from there. All right, guys, so here we are. We have the purge control valve, which is normally closed, and this is the line that comes into the purge control valve. When it's open, the fuel vapors go through the valve and then over here into the intake manifold where it is burned as useful fuel. And this purge control valve is controlled by the ECM when needed. So I was going to jump a few steps here, but for the purposes of learning, I'm going to kind of break this down. So first thing I'm going to do is to take this off and pass smoke through this hose. Then I think it would be a good idea to take this off as well, so that we're going to verify the functioning of this this purge valve. Because when I pass smoke through here and the smoke doesn't come out, then it means the purge valve is doing what it's supposed to do when it's not being activated. It's supposed to be closed, okay? And then the second thing is, once I'm done with that, then I will actually actuate the purge valve while I pass smoke, and the smoke should come out. That verifies the purge valve is fine, that is not our problem. Okay, so let's do that. Like I said, I'm going to put smoke through here and look for the smoke here. There should be no smoke because this valve should be normally closed. Okay, so let's do that. So let's make sure smoke is coming out. Okay. Okay, so we have smoke coming out. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the machine, and the smoke should not come out of here. This valve is fine. We should get some pressure build up. Nothing coming out of here. Okay, I don't want to put too much pressure in it, but you can see there's nothing coming out of here. Okay, now, so I think this is working fine. Now to prove that, we're going to actuate this valve here, the purge valve, while we put smoke through it, and the smoke should come out of there. So now we're going to use our scan tool, okay, to activate the purge valve while we pass smoke, and the smoke should come out, indicating that the purge valve is fine. Okay, so let's see, go to active tests, EVAP emissions valve. Okay. All right. So let's pass smoke again. And then while I pass the smoke, you can see the smoke coming out. You see the smoke coming out in there. Okay. So this purge valve is fine. I stopped it. Activate again. You can see the smoke coming out. The purge valve is just fine. That's not our problem. We need to look elsewhere. So now we move on to the rest of the system. So what I want to do now is take this off to give us some flexibility to this. Okay, it's better now. I want to pass the smoke and then go underneath the vehicle and look for signs of, you know, a leak. If there's a leak, the smoke should show up somewhere in the line or out of the canister or something like that. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, we're getting some leaks, but it's also going through, so this is my best bet right now. So let's go take a look again. Okay, so no leaks here. Excuse me. No leaks. Doesn't look like any leaks coming out of here right now. Everything looks good. Okay. All right. I think I'm pretty convinced that there's no leak down here. Okay. All right, let's cut it out. Now, so there were no leaks, but I want to verify if the smoke actually got to the canister, because we want to make sure the smoke got to the backside. So let's go take off one of the connections to the canister and see if we can find any smoke in there. Alright guys, so we want to check if the smoke is coming out of here to verify that our lines are good. No leaks anywhere. If the smoke comes out of here, it means the canister is not leaking, because we don't see a leak here. The lines are not leaking, we don't see a leak anywhere in the line. Now look at that. Look how that smoke is coming out of the canister, so that means there's no leak anywhere in the lines, because I don't see any smoke coming from anywhere except here, so there is no leak. Okay. Alright guys, so as we saw, these lines aren't leaking. The purge valve is fine. These lines aren't leaking either. So we went underneath the vehicle. There was no leak there, and then we wanted to verify that the canister wasn't leaking. So we saw that it wasn't leaking until we took that hose from it. So we've not found any leaks so far. That leads us to just one thing now, which is the gas cap. Yeah, so we could have just replaced the gas cap, but that is not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to diagnose the problem properly. So let's go take a look at the gas cap. Okay, let's see what's going on there. So yeah, right now everything checks out except for the gas cap. So what I'm going to recommend is for the owner to change the gas cap. So yeah, I'm not sure if there's a way to test the gas cap. Alright guys, so the vehicle owner brought the vehicle back. He says the Titan gas cap message came back on the dash. So here's the new cap. We're going to install that one, and hopefully we put this problem behind us. That's a new one. Pretty quick job. Okay. This one feels a little bit shorter than the original, but should work. Okay. Okay, this is more than enough clicks. So I'm going to check for pending codes and see if I can find anything in the ECM. And if nothing, then we should be done. So I'll give you guys an update in about a week or two and see how we did with this. Okay, so we still have a large leak pending. Okay, we have a large leak, if you can see that. So we're going to clear this code, and then we're going to have the owner drive for about a week or two, maybe a week or so. Get back to him and see if this is, if he sees that gas cap message. If he doesn't see it, then the problem is obviously solved. I'll see if I can also get him in and maybe scan it again one final time to just be certain that this problem is gone. But I think this should take care of that. So let's clear. Yes. And I think that should do it for us.